I don't.
Florida's always taken away.
Yes.
Wind it up like that and take it away.
Now they've left.
Okay. So in the mail, if I was campaign, it was supposed to come to me last Thursday.
They've
The
never.
package went from Kansas City, Missouri Distribution Center, the Kansas City, Kansas Distribution Center, Madison, Wisconsin, to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and then.
So I've already called about it. I need those three.
Finally to Kansas City.
Yeah,
Kansas
need those
City,
three
Kansas
residents to
City,
call.
Kansas City.
I have their addresses. I don't have their phone.
That seems like a piece of stuck in the wrong spot.
Ask them to call. And then, yeah, probably would have heard if
Thank you
maybe Slater
for
called.
splitting
called.
Teal, Colin.
What was funny is the one that I used day in, day out, there was scary stuff.
Oh, you mean the big
one
one?
with the same
Yeah.
problems on it. I just go to the car and said, no,
I mean, there's been some recent storms too, but,
Can you?
and I know their crews are thick. They sub it out to Asheville.
I know, I can see that. It's a good deal on that.
Okay.
I left the formula in that column so you can kind of look at it. What that formula does is it looks for the
I
first
received
space
some hardware.
in a box. That first space is in an address generally after the house number.
Yeah.
So I look at everything that
Last meeting we had,
on the
after
first
the
space.
meeting, I
And
forwarded
then for
it
the street side, I say, look at everything to the right.
back and forth about what color, what swing city, and then I said, I should say, there. Talk to them, so I sent it to Asheville.
So,
And then
Are the mics turned on?
the first day I was
I don't think these mics are on yet.
Parking when we just had to turn it on.
what do you,
Is this just? Just turn on this and we're good to go on that?
Looks like we have some. I'm not sure what Matthew does.
They'll
probably edit me.
Round mulch, so. I made it.
Jen Patrick's on the stream. She
Yeah.
mentioned that the camera looks like it needs to be wiped off or something.
Oh, is it like fuzzy?
Yeah, maybe that.
Here.
Do you have like a longer
Here.
sleeve?
A lot of
Yeah.
areas. I mean, I gotta do it.
Is it better?
Maybe.
Well, we have.
It's not a high quality webcam, so.
Yeah. It is
Really?
what you can see.
Yeah. But you can see and you should be able to hear. That's what matters.
Now we got the thing, the issue thing. How we will.
I don't know. I don't think I've never seen it. It's from. Yes. So Sarah
Where is it?
would be the person.
Yeah. I'm about to just unplug it and set it against the wall. Hopefully.
Yeah.
this time. See how it affects next Monday.
Well, probably,
When I see the city attorney, don't have a problem. CNS is being.
so close to that, like.
We work out on cheese. We have
It's not.
very-
Blowing it out, it's super loud or anything. So, if you just see us all the right children. There's a whole other one just half.
Just hold it a little bit.
I am. It's not fair. It's not-
I already turned the mics on.
Sturdier.
I turned the mics on. Do I need to do anything over there? Okay. I didn't want you to have to turn them all off. I could see me doing that, so.
Casey.
This is speaker.
Yeah, I think he has to do it over here. He said he'll do it. He knows what to do.
Yeah, later.
I forgot.
Hopefully people can't see that my feet don't touch the ground.
Anyway, she has the overgrown.
There's little kid, he's so massive. He'd be sitting there whenever he'd stand up, he'd be shorter than he was.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to that, I think.
And it was sold to people, and anyway, they were asking Sunday. And I noticed when I walked. She says, God.
You gotta go to
Because
the
it was more
They're doing the hair.
Sunday morning, you know, it's about-
Oh, they just think I'll be- Yes,
So,
that-
police department. Okay, maybe, because I said, I'm pretty sure we have from 11, there's 11 midnight to 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
Or even in, even when it's not quiet time, you can't just not know. There was a switch back there.
We just turn the volume down a little. Just turn the volume down a little. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Test. Can you hear it? Test.
Over here, yeah.
Test.
Just make sure you bring your microphone up to you when you talk.
We don't have anyone in the back today though, so right now at least. Is it working? Test. I'm loud enough, everyone can hear me anyway. For me, I gotta push the microphone away.
Okay, shall we stand before the Lord's Prayer, please? Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom comes, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. I'm calling this meeting to order at 5:30. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Matthew, will you call the roll, please?
Gallagher.
Here.
Messman. Here. Jacoby. Present. Scarborough. Here. Page.
Here.
Moss.
Here, sir.
Langer.
Here.
Olson.
Here.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Matthew, call the roll.
Gallagher.
Yes.
Messman. Yes. Jacoby.
Yes.
Scarborough.
Yes.
Page.
Yes.
Moss.
Yes, sir.
Langer.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Mr. Chapman, is there anybody wishing the people that make a full board?
We don't have anybody tonight.
Okay, we have no city attorneys here today. I got a couple of things. I hope that you will all join me in a week from tomorrow, as our fire department will hold its 9/11 memorial service at 9:30. Okay.
It's gonna be 10 o'clock, sorry.
Huh?
10 o'clock. Times 10 o'clock, sorry.
Okay. Alderman Mesmer, I am going to steal your thunder. I want to commend you on your direction to staff and concerns with finances. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Osmo and Alderman Gallagher, I want to thank you and for getting us put online. You did a wonderful job there. I really appreciate it. It's something that this city has needed for a long time, where people can go to their internet and look at it. Stuff that I never thought of, but was your younger generation people, you think of a lot of things. But those old codgers don't. I thank you. Okay, is there any alderman comment?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Mr. Mayor, we've been working
we have discussed a couple different things, and one of them is an ordinance with regard to parking with the flow of traffic instead of against traffic. We also have a concern with sideshows and the people who are attending those sideshows. So we directed our staff to contact the city of Gladstone and contact a friend of mine who's the chief of police in Gladstone, where we got the ordinances that Gladstone passed for sideshows and for the spectators of sideshows. So if it ever does develop in Pleasant Valley, we will have the ordinances online, ready to combat the problem. Hopefully by next week, we'll be able to vote on them. Hopefully we won't have to send them to our city attorneys and avoid fees because they're direct copy of Gladstone's, and Gladstone's passed, and hopefully we won't have to use the sideshow ordinance, but we will use the parking with the flow of traffic ordinances for the police department to deal with.
You got any comment, chief?
No, sir.
Well, I must admit, I was one of them parking against this holiday weekend.
So I just wanted to make a comment about how we are officially live as the city for the first time today. So I just wanted to make sure that people knew. I know we put it in the flyer, so it has in there what people can look up to find the YouTube channel, as well as a QR code, which anyone can scan with their smartphone. You just put your camera to it, scan it, and then it should pop up a little link on the bottom, and then you can click on that, and it should take you to the channel. So that way when we're live, you can see the video come up. And then kind of, since this is our first time, we kind of talk towards the camera. I think we've got like 3 people or something watching. So if there's this being our first time, if there's any issues with audio, with being able to hear people, any issues with being able to see people, please let us know. Come make a public comment, or call the city office, call one of your aldermen, leave us an email, so that way we can get some feedback about people's experience online. And then as well, if we can hear from people who are watching online, if they would like to see changes like an actual microphone hookup, or if they would like to have a better webcam view, that's something that we need to kind of hear back from the people who are interested in watching what their feedback is. So just kind of want to put a comment out there. And if anyone has questions, again, reach out to any of the aldermen or to the city.
Mr. Mayor?
Anybody else?
Yes, constituent, well, they called City Hall, but it's Dorothy Phillip that lives on 7108 Sobey Road. And said that they called the water department and they called City Hall, and it was forwarded to me since she's in my ward, that she had all of a sudden had a $429 water sewer bill. And it said that she admitted, she called the water department first and they said they'd be glad to set up payments. She admitted to me that her son had left the water on running for a time, and so that's why. But then she called City Hall and see if there was any way we could help her. And I said, well, we'll take it up. I didn't say one way or another, but I don't see it's in our responsibility. When they made a mistake, it's a private thing. But I thought I would bring it up with council things. Anyone?
Thank you, Mary.
So is it, any comments about it?
I don't know if any of the aldermen who have been here longer, if there's any precedent on issues like this, if it's been brought up before.
We just did one, we just discussed a matter like this with the trailer horn
The
permit, I
trailer,
believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there is a city statute on the city doing a one-time payment and stuff. So I encourage that constituent to submit the application to the process, and we'll review the facts as they get them.
Okay.
I think that's the best course, but we can't do anything without somebody, like
A formal application.
telling us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's steps and procedures to follow, like the last year's 6 months worth of bills and an average. So there is a process. So
I don't know if possibly the next step is if we can find that information directly, since she's in your ward. If you wanted to send her the direct information of the protocol to follow, the steps to follow, so that she can know.
I believe our city clerk can provide that to the constituent. That would be the most direct and accurate relay of information, I believe.
Okay, but if his mother has already admitted the child left the water running, that is not really the city's fault at all.
And so I think that, like what Pat was saying, we just need to go through the formal process if they would like to make a request, and then review everything as the information that they provide.
Anybody got anything else? Mr. Chapman, you got a report from the administration?
Provided a written report, I don't have anything to add unless there are questions.
Director Fronk, you got from Public Works?
I received a call Friday afternoon from Chuck Bird, owner of Jim's Disposal. I had given him a few dates for bulky item pickup. It's gonna be October 19th, Saturday, October 19th. Everything out by 7 a.m. I'll have the flyer explaining the event, the date, and the rules in the next city flyer. We'll get it on the city's website, and tomorrow I'll talk to John about getting it on the digital sign.
Sorry, could you say that date one more time?
Saturday, October 19th. I'm gonna ask John to put a sentence and a half, 2 sentences, asking people to check the city website or the flyer and read the rules, because when they see that on that electronic sign, you can't list everything on there that's allowed. And then they just see the date, they put it on the calendar, they put everything out, uranium, and then it doesn't get picked up. And then they call and they're upset that it didn't get picked up, and this trash company provides this service. It's not us picking it up. And there's just items that they can't take to the landfill, just like we can. Hazardous waste, paint, cleaning products, that kind of stuff has to go to, like, over Shoto and Durano's. Anyway, that's the date. One call locates in on the water spring on North Brookside. Mark the area with flags and paint. I'm waiting on the utilities to mark what's in that area, and then Ron and I will revisit and see what we gotta do to fix it.
Anybody got any questions for the?
What went on this morning there at Sobe Orchard?
Over this holiday weekend, it was a sinkhole that developed there by that manhole.
Okay.
We did a repair, it's probably been 9 years ago, in that area. That intersection is floating like this. There's an air pocket under the road. The road's probably this thick, but there's an air pocket under there. Very likely from the water that's coming down Orchard and hitting Sobe at that intersection, and it's washed out the base. So when I have Ron in town, we'll look at that.
Okay.
Probably tag that asphalt work onto the asphalt work on.
Okay. And then I just discussed with him before the meeting started that, and people are getting upset that, what was it, 3 weeks ago? Evergy had Esplenda come through and trim the trees on Fulton Road. And they left all the branches that are dying or dead, and no one's picking it up. And he said he's gotten 3 different answers, as typical, And so I didn't know if we need to have the mayor or some of the city or the city council come up with a letter to send to them about that it needs to be taken care of?
Just more on that, I received 3 calls back from 3 different people at Evergy. One person told me that the Asplundh, they use Asplundh as a sub to do their tree work. The Asplundh is behind due to these storms on getting that kind of stuff removed. In the 13 years I've worked here, they have never come into town, cut limbs, and left them laying. They never have.
I agree.
They've left logs blocked up and they're gone in like a week because people, free fire. Another person told me that they don't remove the limbs, which I told them they always have. And a third one that called me back today said, contact the residents that have that stuff in your yard. Gave me a number for them to call to put in a service request, which that's never had to happen. So I'm gonna contact those people. I don't know their phone numbers. I'm gonna knock on their doors, give them the number to call, ask them to call. And if that doesn't generate anything, then maybe from there, somebody, we send a letter to them.
City attorney or something, yeah. Anyway, yes.
That's all I got.
Chief Knudsen, you got anything from,
Well, actually, not really. I did not have a formal report this go around, but I would just remind you that, as the mayor said, Wednesday, September 11th will be the ceremony at the station at 10 o'clock. You probably noticed the lift is gone, so I guess the thank you for the roof work is completed. So I think we're in good shape as far as the station goes. Yeah, anybody have any questions?
I'm new on this. How often do we get reports that list what the fire does?
It'll be the second meeting of the month. So you'll have that next meeting.
anybody else got any questions for the chief? Thank you. Chief McGilly from the Police Department of Communications.
I do not have anything besides what is in your package.
So what's in the packet is a catch-up because you weren't here for the July.
Yeah, for the 2 weeks I'll have excuse me.
So, Heartland Crimes on page 4. I take it what was unlocked for vehicles on 7100 block of Orchard Court?
Yep.
Okay. What is with the rash of stolen vehicles?
Everybody's getting hit. Especially the F-250s. Fords in general. Easy to pop the lock and get right in. Luckily, they've all been recovered.
Anybody else good?
I think they're just joyrides. I think they're not stripped over anything. Just want to get from one place to the other. Still hard to do so.
Chief, do you agree with the ordinance that Tom's suggesting that we have?
Yes.
Okay, that's the main thing. Got your approval, but, okay.
And me again, because I'm new, but it looks like a lot of the numbers are going up. Are we adding policemen to help out with that? Just out of curiosity.
The crime, I think, is exactly the same as last year. Except for, the part ones are exactly the same. The assaults, I didn't have a real reason why those are going up. Then most of the other stuff is self-initiated, so we've been more active.
Anybody else?
Most of the time. Day and night.
Thank you, Chief. Board Administrator Everhart, you got any report?
It's my monthly report.
If anybody has any questions for you? Alderwoman Jacoby, you got anything from Personnel Chair?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I have an approval of termination for a volunteer firefighter, Josh Kepek, Okay,
Effective today.
recommend,
Effective today.
she second.
I second with the addition of effective 9/3/2024.
Any other questions? So I have a second. Call the roll, Mr. Matthew.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Bessemer,
Yes.
Jacoby,
Yes.
Scarborough,
Yes.
Page,
Yes.
Moss,
Yes, sir.
Langner,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
I also have a recommendation to hire Colin Lister as volunteer firefighter effective 9/9/24 pending background check and drug screen.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Chapman, call the roll, please.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Bessemer,
Yes.
Jacoby,
Yes.
Scarborough,
Yes.
Page,
Yes.
Moss,
Yes, sir.
Langner,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Also, I have an approval of yearly step increase for police officer Jared Johnny House from pay grade 130, step 4 at 24.34 per hour to pay grade 130, step 5 at 24.82 per hour, effective 9/1/24.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Chapman, call the roll, please.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Bessemer,
Yes.
Jacoby,
Yes.
Scarborough,
Yes.
Page,
Yes.
Moss,
Yes, sir.
Langner,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Also have an approval of yearly step increase for part-time communication officer Gene Earhart from pay grade 116, step 2 at 32.10 per hour,
2210.
22.10 per hour to pay grade 116, at step 3, 22.48 per hour, effective 9/1/24.
Second.
Discussion? Mr. Chapman, call the roll.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Bessemer,
Yes.
Jacoby,
Yes.
Scarborough,
Yes.
Page,
Yes.
Moss,
Yes, sir.
Langner,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Alderman Mesman, you got anything from finance?
Yes. Several of us have been pretty busy. City Administrator Slater requested a DMV sales tax transaction report for the period 1/1/2022 through 7/31/2024. City Administrator Slater and I reviewed the report, and here are the findings. 107,531 odd cents went to other jurisdictions. 3,471 odd cents was paid to Pleasant Valley that should have gone to other jurisdictions. 8 of the purchases appeared to be licensed through the Smithville Fire Protection District at 1.125% compared to our 4.75% tax rate. 3 others paid only 1.25%. City Administrator Slater has submitted the findings to the Department of Revenue for their audit. So we'll see what they do with that report. Also, review of revenue. City Administrator Slater noticed a big drop in ambulance revenue for the last 2 months. He has worked with Chief Knudsen to find an issue with the Medicare reimbursement, which is now fixed. And it looks like $15,000 will be coming in for June and July ambulance billings. I want to back up a moment to the DMV sales tax transactions. Mr. Gallagher was a help to split the field of addresses so we could sort those 16,000 line report and find the City of Pleasant Valley addresses. Thank you very much, Patrick.
Anytime.
City Administrator Slater also ordered a sales report for the year 2022, 2023, and through July of 2024. there's concerns that sales are not being reported using the City of Pleasant Valley sales tax remittal number. Do you want to expound on that?
We had a list that the state sent us, and first of all, the 2022 numbers match the 2023, so I sent us back that. We've just got some differences that are huge red flags to me, and I think they will be to all you when we get there, but like Apriya Healthcare, their sales went from a projected, they went from 513,000 in 2023 to 11,951, and that's taking 7 months of data and put it in 12 months. And we've got other ones down too, like Valley Pub had $7,000 in sales to run a bar, and you're not going to do that. And so what I discussed with Alderman Messimer, and she can take it over from here if you'd like to, but I think when we do our business occupation license, we need to see a tax return, because it's not, the Dalton place down the street here had $2,300 in sales, and you don't keep a building open with $2,300 in sales. So it's just this, and I'm going to put my employee hat on. You guys could not give these folks the raises that we could have been able to. And if we can find these folks, if we can find fraud with the Smithville Fire District, if we can get people up here having to report what they report to the government, you can get to be able to help these people out. It's not like we're out there doing something, pinching somebody. They're pinching us. And so we want to make sure that we get that.
So you would like a motion that for the business license renewal, or to have a business license issued, period, that the entity provide the federal tax return with that business license application?
It might have to be the prior year, like we would, this year would have to be the
Right.
2023 return, because not everybody files them right away. But another thing too, that Chief Knutson has agreed to do, when we have our annual fire inspections, we're gonna have a checkbox on there that says, I wanna see what your sales tax remittal number is, because we wanna make sure that everybody in Pleasant Valley is submitting their sales tax to us, not to some other entity. And so, yes, if you wouldn't mind discussing that, Alderwoman, I appreciate it.
Okay, so help me with the motion here, sir.
Just a motion that would include when
To add the sales tax remittal number to the
business license, annual business, into the annual fire inspection, and then to add review of the federal income tax report for the business license. So the fire inspection would be the sales tax number, the business license would include a review of this federal income tax return.
Do you have that, City Clerk?
Should that be two motions?
Well, we need both of them. It could be in one motion. Matthew, you want to read back what you have to see what we need to clarify for you?
The motion will be to add a review of the company's tax return when anybody has a new business license or a renewal business license, and require a sales tax number as part of the fire inspection process.
And I think it should probably specifically say that for the business occupation license, it's the previous year's federal tax return.
It would be 2 year, like for 2025's business tax return, we look at 2023's return.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah, so how would we, what's the last
We-
complete,
The most recent.
the most,
Most current, that'd be fine, yeah,
yeah,
most current federal tax return.
And if it's a new license,
as well.
do we need to? Because what if it's a company that's just starting, they don't have any tax return?
I think they could then probably say that they don't have a tax return
Yeah,
for the prior year.
As long as
Put an A
as long
next
as
to
it's
it.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
but
not
It'd
applicable.
be something we would ask for,
Yeah.
yes.
Good point.
That's why he's board president.
Mr. Slater.
Yes, sir, Ms. Gallagher.
There's many different types of business or business types, from S corps to sole proprietorships. Are we asking to do the federal tax returns for all business types, or just the ones that are separate entities from the person running it?
It would be all business types.
So you'd be asking for the personal income taxes for like sole proprietors and LLCs? Okay.
Good point.
Yeah,
Good point. Yeah,
Okay.
So how do I find out the revenue they make from that? Do they have a separate schedule that they have to fill out?
I
Right.
believe it's a
So we
separate
could,
schedule.
yes, so we could ask for a schedule, whatever schedule that might be.
Schedule D, Schedule C, it's one of those.
It's something
Yeah,
the tax guys do.
For miscellaneous income, which is what you would put under in your 1099, your regular personal. Good point. So it'd be the federal tax return or the schedule that shows how much you made as an individual proprietor. Because if I'm selling Mary Kay,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have a business occupation license, but I need to show how much I sold.
I don't know if anyone else, I don't know if this is something that we maybe need to look at more closely before passing a motion, like have maybe the city attorney, because like Pat is making the point, like there are several different types of businesses, like sole proprietors, LLCs. Those are the two that I'm familiar with because it's the two that I have. So outside of that, I wouldn't know the specifics of the different types of businesses that there are, and if we need to have a kind of a specific way of legally asking for their income.
We've got some time, and I might suggest that Clerk Chapman is going to have the Missouri Municipal League Conference. He'll miss the next meeting, and maybe down there he can find it in a seminar or not before we go back to our attorney.
Yeah.
And see what other cities are. Joe Lauber will be down there doing a seminar, and that could be a question we could pop up. And how do we verify income when we renew occupation licenses?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure then how
We got time, let's put
How
it
we wanna-
together right.
how we want to phrase the motion.
Or you can just table it until we come back with that information.
Yeah, I would.
And you, Mr. Slater, you keep on them. Be a dog. Get on them.
You know what? It's costing the people I work with money.
You're doggone right
Yeah.
it is. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
we hate it when somebody wants a raise and we can't give it to them.
Right.
Because we can't find the money, you know? I mean, and if we have the money out there, we can give raises. So find the money.
Well, that Missouri license thing, that's something we did before. But it's on, I sent a notice to Clerk Chapman and Lisa, who's assistant, that 1st of February, we're gonna do that every year from now on. We'll just order that, gave them a copy of the report, and they'll be able to order both the spreadsheet that shows how much the individual companies made and also the sales, the cars, the vehicles sold in our city or in this zip code. So it's something that we won't have to try, come July, I forgot, let's do this.
Another thing that would be a big help, but if United States Postal Service would help us, would be for Pleasant Valley to have our own zip code.
Yeah, well,
I remember a long time ago,
you
Mayor Todd.
you can dream of that.
That would be a huge help.
I know.
It would be also be helpful if people just use Pleasant Valley and not let the default levy be on everything they do.
Don't you have to have a post office in order to have your own?
Yes,
That's
so they would have to build them.
And they're not gonna do that.
So would that be,
And a second.
was that your motion?
We
Ruth?
can,
I didn't hear a second, so it just failed, so we just had a nice discussion.
Oh, sounds
yeah,
good.
so we'll bring it back
Bring it
after
back.
Clerk Chapman gets
Perfect.
back from serving this board. Thank you.
Another thing that was on this agenda for me to talk about is Crown Castle cell tower lease. I know the cell tower is at the old fire station. And 2 years ago, the company requested an additional 100 square feet. And they didn't go forward with that because T-Mobile decided they didn't need to upgrade their generator or to add a generator. But now, they're looking at that space and they are requesting another,
May I?
yes, please.
So Crown Castle needed 383 square feet, put generator in at the old fire station by the cell tower. And we had an agreement a couple of years ago, we charged them $100 a month. And they never completed the agreement, but this board passed that because that, what we thought would be fair. And then they'd like to add an extra 39 square feet to that, which would give them a square footage of 422 square feet. And if you prorate that out, it's an extra $10.18 a month. And over the life of 134 months, it's $1,364.12. And the Alderwoman and I discussed it with, is it worth the legal fees to come up with that for $1,300? And what I'm asking the board to do is A, give me the ability to counteroffer that prorated amount, and they say no, just to settle for the $100 a month extra fee that we agreed to a couple years ago.
And with that, they agreed on the 3%.
There's a 3% escalation every year.
So that would be,
There would be 3 years of 3% escalation on the $100.
Did they follow through with the original agreement?
No, they did
Well,
not, because they didn't need to put the generator in.
Then
Oh, Director, is that correct?
They did not.
they did not ever send us no money or did anything, right?
But they will, they'll pay us back those 24 months or whatever that agreement is that I signed when I was in that chair. They'll send us that back retroactively.
Okay, and so can we put something in this contract that if they don't pay us, the agreement's done?
If you want to get the attorneys involved.
which will cost way more than the
Yeah.
$1,500.
Yeah.
It might already be in
You know,
The-
there.
the-
Verbiage saying.
I don't believe so, but we'll make sure it is. You and I can review this tomorrow or something. But anyway, if the board's okay with that agreement that was signed with the possibility of escalating that amount by prorating the extra 39 square feet, we would like to get that off to them so it can come back in ordinance form.
So that $100 a month agreement was Amendment 1. So now it'll be Amendment 2 with the new square footage and how much a month it will be with the paying back of that 3% escalator that they've not paid for 2 years or however many months it's been.
And Director Cronk and I both looked at the mapping. I think Chief Knudsen maybe too. There's no problem getting a fire truck between where they're gonna put this generator in the community building in case something happens in that area. So,
Mr. David, dumb question for me. Is $100 a month appropriate rate, or is it quote unquote like dirt cheap?
Based on the previous square footage.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
well, that's
It's
for the
comparable
39,
to what
what we had
we've
before.
previously
I'm sorry, let's see what we had before. Yeah. It's,
Is that previous amount dirt cheap though? That's the question, right?
well, the money comes with the tower itself,
Yeah.
not the land around it.
Mhm.
And so that's where you're making your real money.
if they pay.
Yeah, and if you look at when Matthew gives you your financials every month, if you look under rental income, that's what we're making every year, every month from that contract.
$1,600 something.
And it's like $20,000. isn't it? All
So the $100 a month would just be for that little extra chunk.
39 square feet.
So it's not what that's,
Yeah.
what they're getting the whole
I
land
did
for.
figure there was more context. to
Yeah.
it than just-
You're like, that's some good price for
That's
some
a good
land.
question.
It's a rip, it's a sliver.
It is.
And realistically, what else could go right there?
And the contract ends in, what, 12 years? So you young people will still be around, you can renegotiate.
It renews every 5 years. So 26, I think, will be when it's up for renewal. So this will be an addendum to that 21.
It's 134 months when the thing matures, because that's but I wrote that
That's your
here.
notes.
And actually, the original agreement was signed by a lady named Green Flippin, who was the mayor before Dennis Dodd, who was the mayor before me. So it goes back a long time, like 20 years.
So do we need a motion or just
That he can negotiate.
a agreement from the board? I don't know if you need the
Just-
formal
just
motion.
I think, what do you think, your finance chair, I just think the consensus is fine.
I think we should do things by motion because that's how we approve things to happen.
It will come back in ordinance form before.
Okay.
So this is just just to allow you to,
Yeah, so if you
Discuss
want to
it
make a
right now.
motion, if we're allowed to negotiate that.
I make a motion that the city of Pleasant Valley with city administrator Slater's leadership negotiates the addendum to the contract to the Crown Castle cell tower lease for the additional square footage that they're requesting.
Second.
Any more discussion? Mr. Chapman, call the roll.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Messemer,
Yes.
Jacoby,
Yes.
Scarborough,
Yes.
Page,
Yes.
Moss,
Yes, sir.
Langner,
Yes.
Olson.
yes.
Anything else?
That's it for me.
Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved?
Second.
Chapman, call the roll.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Messemer,
Yes.
Jacoby,
Yes.
Scarborough,
Yes.
Page,
Yes.
Moss,
Yes, sir.
Langner,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes. All right, that is the end of the stream. Thank you, everyone. Please make sure to talk to the city or any of your older people about any concerns, audio, video, stuff like that. But thanks for watching.
That's what